Welcome everybody to episode 8 of Talk of the Rift. This is a podcast all things about League of Legends, from current state of the meta, upcoming changes, and professional play. I'm your host Logan, and joining me today is Eli.
Hello.
And Koobs.
Good evening.
And at the end of the show, we do a live Q&A, so if you want to submit your questions, you can tweet them to us at Talk of the Rift, post them in the Twitch chat, or even send us an audio message on our Anchor page, anchor.fm/Talk of the Rift, and we'll play it live on the show. If you're listening to us on YouTube, be sure to like and subscribe, and if you're on Twitch, give us a follow so you can stay updated when we do live shows. How are you guys doing today?
I was doing good up until about 7 seconds ago when I realized we found out that I spelled analysis wrong, and I'm really embarrassed about it. But
I said it looked weird. I said it looked weird.
I know.
Analysis.
It's really bad.
I was like, hey, that doesn't look right. And I went to change it. You're like, no, it's right. And I was like, okay, like, you're the guy. You got this. I believe you.
I looked it up, and I didn't realize that the Google bar auto-corrected me. So I was like, that's the same. Yeah, no, it's good. And I was like, I know it looks weird, but if I'm dumb. That's on me.
Yeah, I'm doing good. Just, long day, tired, but ready to kick back and do our talks of the Rift.
How's their solo queue life going? Or flex queue, whatever you play. I don't care.
Oh, up and down.
Mostly down.
But it's nice, though, because the games we win, I deserve to win. But the games I lose, I definitely deserve to lose. So I haven't had to flame at random teammates as much.
I flamed today.
Yeah. I don't really flame, I just mute. But
well, my chat was muted, but I typed. It was old man screams at clouds.
Hiding behind the mute.
He might have good back too. I think he's probably fine.
I played Gragas.
I would rather most people did that than talk at all, because most of the time, if I get a feel for the general intelligence of my teammates, my mood worsens greatly.
I was playing Gragas today, and I told myself what I need to do better when I jungle is I need to gank more. So I was like, okay, Logan, you're gonna gank a whole bunch, like screw farming. You're gonna take your blue and Gromp, and you're gonna immediately like gank bot, then you're gonna gank mid, then you're gonna take red, you're gonna gank top, and I was just like, this is everything we're gonna do. I go bot lane gets a double kill immediately. I was like, hell yeah. So I'm healing up all the way walking to mid. Gank mid, Yasuo kills Ahri, like got him a kill. I was like, hell yeah, go take my red buff, go top. Killed Jax, hell yeah. Okay, so my Camille's 1-0. Literally 3 successful ganks. Boom, boom, boom. Pantheon, their jungler hasn't even shown his face. I go back to river to take Scuttle Crab. There Jax immediately starts teleporting. I immediately walk back into the lane, kill him. Camille's 2-0. So I just like take Scuttle back. At one point, Camille's 4-0, Yasuo's 2-0, and my bot lane is just 2-0. They just got the double kill, and we lost the game. And I'm just getting like spam pinged, and I'm like, all right, that's it. I hate everybody.
Honestly,
it was so upsetting. I don't know what I'm supposed to do at that point.
Who knows, man? Maybe not give your laners the kill. That's what I do. I never let them have the kill.
Yeah, maybe I should just play ADC again.
It could be
ADC again.
Okay.
Play Senna.
I don't like Senna.
Yeah, I've been just reaping in the freelo with that champion.
I don't know. Something about it I just don't like. Maybe it's the auto attacks.
But you played Jhin, so that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, that's true. All right, so to start off the show, we're going to talk about fantasy stuff. Last week we talked about how we're going to do the Esports 1 Fantasy League. We purchase players. How did you guys do last week as far as point? I guess Koobs, you weren't able to play last week because you didn't get in at the time.
But I'm in now, baby.
But you're in now. So Eli, how many points did you actually end up getting for last week?
Boy, I don't remember and don't want to look at it because I actually don't know how to look at it.
It should just say in your like main screen what your previous week points were.
Should you go to week 1 maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah, go to week 1.
You can do that too.
Oh, okay. I see. Okay. So anybody that paid attention last week, I mentioned that I picked all CLG and I picked the CLG team.
Oof.
That may, in retrospect, have been a mistake.
Hit me. What'd you do?
It doesn't actually it doesn't calculate my points for me. It says
Really?
0 points this week.
If you go into week 2, or it doesn't say previous week.
No, I can open week 1, but when I go to week 1, it doesn't tell me what my total is. It says 0 points.
Yeah. In week 2, it will have there's a previous week one.
Yeah, like in the week 2 tab, then it says like there's your money remaining, your salary cap. Then it'll say previous week.
Says 0 points.
That's crazy.
Jeez, you had a real bad week then.
I mean, I didn't score that low.
Well, hopefully that works for
I
next
didn't
week.
do great. I didn't do great. I'll say that much. It was CLG went 0-2, and they looked like they probably had never played a game together before.
Yeah.
Sure.
So that should be an indicator of how many. I mean, most of the league averaged more points than my players got over the entire weekend. So I did very bad.
Oh man, there's some stats that are so hilarious about CLG.
Yep.
I got.
Can I say one?
Yeah, go ahead.
So Immortals and CLG were at the bottom of gold difference at 15 minutes. Immortals was down 949 gold, the average between the two games, and CLG averaged being behind 2,373 gold.
Good
They're
God.
over
That's staggering.
over 1,000 between last place and second to last place. Yeah, hilarious.
I got 183 points,
Okay.
and yeah, it was free low.
It was Freelo. Okay.
My highest scoring player was Someday with 36 points. Well, Dignitas, the team, 46 points. And I got one of the champs right on my captain, was Nautilus. So 28 points to my support. Hell yeah. What are you guys doing for week 2, though?
Coops, do you want to start this one since you didn't get to go last week?
I was hoping you'd ask. And yes, I do. All right. So, I just kind of just picked, starting from the top, working my way down, just best one I figured out with, and this week worked out pretty well because I ended with $0. I didn't have to change anything around really. I didn't really have a strategy. I'm just kind of going for it because that's just how I do things, I guess. And in my top lane, I went with Licorice. He looked super good. And his matchups this week are not bad at all.
He had the highest CSD difference at 15 out of all players in the LCS.
Yeah, he's up there. He's 300,000. He's up there, but he's going against Immortals and 100 Thieves, which I think he will do well into both of them. I think it's kind of a little bit of a no-brainer as far it's one of the better matchups of the week, I think. Jungle. I'm thinking that TSM's gonna bounce back. We can kind of go into why I think that later on in the show here, but I went with Darduck just because they've gotten first blood in both the games and it's been on him. I think he's playing the early game pretty well, so I think he'll bounce back more like later on in the games, not just early this next week. And then just banking off that, kind of like the same idea in fantasy football, where hey, sometimes if you go with the QB and the wide receiver, they'll you'll be able to rack in double the points with that. I'm putting Bjergsen on for my mid lane. And bot lane, I'm going with the C9 bot lane, Sven and Vulcan, which I just realized Vulcan was C9's bot like support. So, putting some eggs in their basket, but they looked super well. They're super good. They won both their lanes, right? Like both their games.
Yeah, 2-0.
And one of them was against Double Lift while playing Senna, which shouldn't be possible, but hey, here we are. And so I just have those two going down. I think that'll be kind of the consistent kind of factor this whole thing. And then I picked 100 Thieves for the team because I only had 200,000 left. and so I had to kind of go down the list a little bit. And I think I have them going 1-1, but hey, maybe they will get some long games out. Like if Meteos can win a game while having the start that he had, oh man.
Who did you pick for your captain?
I picked Licorice my captain, and I have him going Aatrox both games.
Really?
Yeah, I figured he's gonna play him in one of them, so I'm just doubling down and getting it right.
Fair. That's fair. So, for the same reason that you grabbed from TSM, I took Broken Blade in the top lane. Not that I thought that he was the best choice, just that I picked my jungle, my mid, and my bottom first. And then I kind of had to split some money around for my team, my support, my top laner. So Broken Blade was the most value I could get out of it. I took Santorin on my jungle. He did really well last week, and he's got not horrible matchups. I just think he's probably going to be the linchpin of that team this week. I've got Froggen in mid lane, and that's a little bit counterintuitive because Santorin and Froggen play each other one game. I just think that game's going to be really good, really high scoring for both players. I took Sven as my AD carry, same as you. And I picked him as my captain, actually. He played Aphelios both games last week, and they're playing on a patch where Aphelios just got nerfed. I don't think it was nerfed enough to prevent him from playing it, but I do think it's enough that they're not going to ban it. So I picked him to play Aphelios both games. And then I've got Aframu as my support. Dignitas as a team did pretty well last week, so I picked them up as well. So I'm a little heavy on the Dignitas side. I just have a lot of faith in what I saw from them last week. It was like the polar opposite of what I saw from CLG, where they looked like they'd never played before. Dignitas looked like they've been playing together for years. I mean, they were firing on all cylinders both games. So I got a lot of faith in them this week.
Noise. So
Great reaction. That was good.
Yeah.
dope. So I went with Licorice top. Same reasons that Coob said. I think he's just gonna dumpster kids. Then I went with Closer. I don't think it's Closer. I think it's spelled Closer, but I think it's Closer.
That's the turkey
Those,
guy, right?
those are
Yeah.
spelled the same way, by the way.
He actually
Oh,
did
you're
pretty
right.
good.
I'm sorry. Damn it. Yeah, he performed pretty well, so I'm gonna take a gamble with him, because they're facing EG and CLG. So I imagine they're gonna dumpster CLG, and then I'll just cross my fingers for the EG part. Because he like crapped on Meteo, so like I don't think it's crazy to think that like he can maybe swindle Sven Skaren a little bit.
Sincere
Then
didn't look good either.
right, exactly. I would know. I had him in the first week. I have Niski
how'd that
from.
go?
Yeah, his second game was a lot better. He scored me a lot more
Okay.
points. If he would have scored like any points in the first game, I would have done like really well. But no, yeah, he got 0.38 points on his first game. I was like, his
It's a
dog
solid
crap.
outing.
Yeah,
He didn't have negative points.
that's true. He wasn't negative impact. He was just low
Yes.
impact.
Exactly.
I went Niski mid lane, and then I went Sven ADC because they gave him really high priority in both their games, so I expect them to do that again. So I expect him to not die and get kills again. And then I went Biofrost as support because they play CLG and who's the other team that TSM plays? I can't think of right now. Whatever.
Say that again. What?
Who does TSM play? They play CLG and
Evil
EG?
geniuses.
Evil Geniuses, yeah. So I got
Yeah.
Biofrost, and then my team is Golden Guardians. Another gamble because that's all the money I'd left as well.
Mm-hmm.
Sven is my captain, and I just picked Aphelios twice
Oh my god.
because I would imagine that they're going to pick. Well, because they have. Let me
Oh, there's
see.
no way it doesn't get banned against them. Are you kidding?
Well,
me?
their first pick in one of their games. Well, it's possible.
Exactly.
It's possible. They should have been banned in the other ones. You just
Yeah,
cross
yeah,
your
and now-
cross your
and now
fingers for
pe-
the trade.
And now people learn.
Well, yeah, you see it.
Maybe.
You
This
cross
is
your
the
fingers for the
NALCS.
trade.
We invented the clown fiesta, okay?
Yeah, and C9 has first pick in the first game, so if it's not banned, like if the other team agrees for a Senna Aphelios trade, like they're gonna just take Aphelios again. So that's just a safe bet. But
Interesting.
should be a good week.
We kind of overlapped on a couple of ideas here, actually, because just between the three of us, without talking about it at all, picked several like of the same champs overlapping. I think that's kind of interesting.
I just pretty much have C9 and TSM. I just realized. Hey, that's all right. They don't play each other. It's okay.
I picked all CLG last week, Coobs. The fact that you have two teams makes it better than what I did.
Fair enough.
And then for pick'ems for the week, I just tweeted out a bit ago on the Talk of the Rift Twitter at Talk of the Rift. The picks that we're going to do for week 2. I put the percentages in there for our last week's picks, what we're currently rated. So if you have anything that you want to say about that, you can go ahead and comment on that or take a look at that to follow us along, maybe if we talk about it during the podcast. But not much more to talk about it on that end because I don't want to list everything off because that's going to be dry. LCS recap for the week 1. We're gonna start off with some hot takes. Hot takes for week 1. I guess I'll start because I got a spicy one. Dignitas is a top 2 team.
And
Yeah,
if we had this conversation a week ago, I would probably tell your wife that you're going crazy. But having the conversation right now, I think I agree with you. They looked really good.
They looked really good. Really good.
Yeah. Which I guess my hot take on that was Froggen's gonna be the best mid laner in the LCS this year, and I think he's not a front runner. I think Froggen's top 3 MVP of the split
Off of week 1.
off of week 1.
Hashtag hot takes.
You wanted a hot take. This is as hot as I get them.
Yeah, jeez.
I
I
will
mean,
say this.
man.
I will say this on the term of Froggen,
Mm-hmm.
because this backs up my point of me saying they're a top 2 team. Froggen has never been great, like in the NALCS. Like he's had some good moments and stuff. Last year was probably the best split that he's had when they went to playoffs. I think it was spring, and that was still not like amazing.
Mm-hmm.
This week was amazing. Like he played really well, and he played team fights really well, and they gave him resources. He roamed. Like he went to Hooney's lane. Like, oh my Lanta, who would have thought that was gonna happen? He walked up to Hooney's lane to gank Hooney to get a kill, and I'm just like, oh my god. And Hooney didn't die. Hooney went deathless, and he went tank renekton. Like, I don't know. That's a good sign for your first week. That's all I'm saying. It's a team that I can get behind. And Johnson, like, amazing. Actually amazing. Played super well. I hope Johnson keeps it up because that guy is rookie. I mean, I think he's the only rookie technically, but my God, if he keeps playing like that, he'll be one of the best rookies of the splits we've ever had.
Yeah. Well,
There was
it'd be him and Closer, right? Or is he
Closer
like
he's played. Closer was the MVP of the Turkey League last split in the summer.
Okay, so it doesn't count as a
Yeah.
rookie for
So that's the crazy thing about Closer is that like he actually is an MVP jungler from his region.
Mhm.
Right.
So
Wasn't that how Broken Blade was too when he came over? Wasn't he MVP?
yes, MVP of top lane.
Yeah.
There was an iteration both this week and last week where I had Johnson as my AD carry, and I didn't end up going with it. But
It's hard to count on him like only
Right.
after 1 week even. You know, you
Well, it's-
kind of think that Dignitas will go boom like in theory, but if they don't, you know, he's going to just keep popping, I think.
Mhm.
Yeah. We'll see. That's why it's called hot takes.
Right.
We just go with what we got.
Right. And he played Ash.
I mean, they look good. I mean, overall, I mean, everything looked good. Their
yeah.
vision control was great. Afro move, right? Afro moves on that team.
Yeah, and he actually
Yeah,
he played
he actually,
decent.
he actually played like he cares. Versus last year. I mean, I don't see any reason to doubt them right now, but it's going to be a consistency thing with,
Right.
especially with the rookie and every highs and lows. And
You're also
LCS is all about, consistency.
you're also taking into account that Team Liquid still does not have Broxa, so you're, you know.
Yeah, I think Team Liquid has more issues.
That being said, though, like no, all right, we'll get to Team Liquid, like we'll get there, but like even if Team Liquid had Brox and was playing well, like I still think it's a hot take to say Dignitas is a top 3 team, like that. You know, everyone's saying they're sixth place, and you're like, no, these guys are.
Yeah,
how
how
probably going to
them so far?
playoffs.
We're
Yeah.
doing
Our aggregate ranking had them
Really
at
low.
third to last.
6. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, 7. Sorry, yeah, 7th.
Is this
So
added to
just
the-
missing playoffs, and now I'm
Wow.
sitting here and I'm like, they're definitely going to playoffs.
Yeah.
CLG's the last place team, and Dignitas is going to playoffs. That's where we're at.
I'm looking at this now, and I'm just like, I made some mistakes. CLG, I think all of us can.
Do you?
Well, I mean, we'll see. We'll see the turnaround, but
do you have a hot take, Coobs?
Let me think. Not really. I think FlyQuest looked way better than I thought they would.
Mhm.
I mean, it's just another testament. Like, do not let them have Riven. Like, Vipers
Yeah.
and State on that champion. Like, just don't do it. I think I was watching. I can't remember who I was watching. It was a stream, but someone's like, "Yeah, there's things that happens with FlyQuest with the good teams, the bad teams. You know, the good teams ban Riven. The bad teams think they have a counter for Riven, and yeah, that proved to be the case
I
here.
think FlyQuest had the most kills out of all teams in the first week,
Yeah,
which is
Viper, oh
awesome
my
because
God.
they plant trees every time they get
Well,
kills.
yeah.
So they just plant
That's,
Yeah.
I'm
trees.
all in on them now. I'm like I'm having FlyQuest win every game from now on. You know, just so I can root for them. I have them going 2-0 this week too. So I'm rooting for FlyQuest right now, very hard. But
They had
yeah, hot
they had
takes.
most kills with 40 kills. The next team was Cloud9 with 28. So they actually
Wow.
smashed.
I like the Lorax of League of Legends.
How many
Getting nads in the trees.
Similarly, perennial powerhouse CLG had one
perennial
game where they had
powerhouse?
4 kills.
Yeah.
Viper had 11
I
of
think
those.
I think my hot take is that Team Liquid finishes middle of the pack.
That was
Okay.
so your hot take. Well, I guess mine's kind of a similar fashion, so I'm going to add it with your hot take so that we could talk it together.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to be Double Lift's worst split ever.
Yeah.
Since I'm going to say since winning the NALCS with CLG. So I'm not going to count before that because the Double Lift before and after are two different players. So I'm going to say since he won his first split, this will be the worst split he's ever had.
Yeah.
He played like dog shit.
You played so bad.
Bad.
Now, I do want to take a second because earlier we talked about, you're talking about Double Lift since he left this organization being bad, and then we've got Froggen and Afrobu who looked rough until they got into Dignitas. Dignitas back in the LCS after, what is it, 2 seasons away?
Yeah.
Because they bought back in with franchising. They bought another team. I remember exactly. how that worked.
Dignitas bought Clutch.
Okay. They don't have the same management they had before either. It's basically a completely new organization.
Which is good.
And I wonder if that organization is the reason that they've got the veterans like Froggen and Afromu playing really well. And then they've got the rookie Johnson who's got all this experience around him who can just pop off all the time. I wonder if that's a byproduct of that organization being so much better structured for those players than the previous ones were.
Something that can help back up your statement with that is that Clutch Gaming in the summer split, now bear with me on the numbers here, but like they were probably, I think they were halfway through the season and they were like 1-5, or it'd be like 1-6 or 2-5 or something like that, whatever halfway score would be, and being very negative. That's when Dignitas bought Clutch Gaming and they started wearing the yellow jerseys and stuff, and Dignitas, so they still had to be called Clutch because if you get bought, you still have to be the same team for the end of the year. Right. But basically, it was Dignitas running the team, and from that moment, literally, they bought Clutch. That next week, they go like 2-0, and then they just start winning, and then they went to Worlds. Like they got 4th place in the split, like and lost to CLG in the 3rd and 4th place. They were at the top of the gauntlet. TSM goes to face them. They beat TSM. They go to Worlds. They get a really crappy group in Worlds. Like, obviously, they go 0 and whatever, but, like, they still went to Worlds. And now they're playing in the first week really well with this new team. So I don't think it's crazy. I don't think it's a coincidence that, like, Dignitas jumps in and immediately the team starts performing.
Yeah, no, I can agree. Which one's the Dignitas? Is it the girl CEO or is it the ginger CEO?
The ginger
one. I mean,
yeah, the girl
like,
CEO
he cares about the atmosphere.
Yeah, the girl is EG.
Okay, and I think just his energy. I mean, ownership matters for sure. Like you gotta kind of like where you're at. You know if they're about you or not, and if they're not really about you, then why would you be about them?
Right.
And so I think there's kind of a mutual respect. Which, I mean, he's always like, now I didn't know it was him at first until like the video, but like now you could like, he's always in the front row whenever, he's always like there watching the games. You can tell he's all in on his team. And I think the team's responding to that accordingly. And they all want to be there, which I think is a big deal. Motivation is pretty key.
Outside of the LCS, but not outside of Dignitas. So they've got a Counter-Strike team and, they've kind of been up and down or whatever. They overhauled their entire roster recently, or they re-entered Counter-Strike. I don't remember the specifics of that. I didn't really follow the organization for a while. But very recently, they got a brand new roster for CS:GO. 4 out of the 5 members of that roster are the 2014. Oh god, even that's I can't remember, but Ninjas in Pajamas CS:GO team that dominated Europe for a really long time. And then they've got one rookie on there who's supposed to be really good. With this Dignitas team, you've got at least the 2 really good old boys with Afromu and Froggen. Grig has proven to be serviceable in the jungle. Hooney is Hooney. And now you've got Johnson, who's this rookie that's going to pop off. It's the same kind of philosophy, and it definitely seems like that organization is willing to do what it takes to put itself in a position to win a championship in whatever esport they're currently working on. So kind of similar mentalities across different esports.
Yeah, and we'll be talking a lot about Dignitas and Liquid for the rest of the podcast. So we're gonna quickly jump to Liquid though to finish what Koobs' point was on hot take is that they're gonna finish in the middle of the pack. They don't have Broxa for the second week, so it's probably a safe bet that they maybe don't go 2-0 this week. 1-1. Best case. That's what they did last week. They play Dignitas and they play FlyQuest, I think.
FlyQuest, yeah. I mean, I have them going 0-2.
Really?
I don't know if I believe in FlyQuest yet.
I'm kind of, they're streaky for sure, but I feel like their streaks usually last more than with 1 week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I think they'll get it together for another week. I think it just depends on the draft. I think FlyQuest depends on a good draft more than most other teams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Liquid did not draft well at all.
Oh my god!
In the first week.
Oh my god! It's furious. I was furious.
Thresh pick was atrocious. Azir blind pick was atrocious.
Azir was the dumbest. You would know what they go into Azir, and it always works.
And then when they then you're gonna counter your top lane and you pick Mordekaiser. You're like, this is what we want. This is what we got our blind pick, our counter pick for. It's like, God, what are you doing?
No, yeah, their draft. I mean, they did a better draft against TSM, but their first draft was so bad.
Yeah, it was really bad.
It's for me, the Azir pick was the dumbest one. Niski plays one champion really well, and that's Veigar, and he always picks it into Azir.
That zoning was just dirty. Dirty. I loved it.
Yeah, and Jensen clearly hadn't played in a Veigar in years.
Yeah, he didn't know what the
because he walked into
did.
every single cage. But yeah, they got a little bit to shore up more than just the play with Liquid.
Do we have
like you said?
Oh, go ahead.
Go for it. I don't even think the jungle is most of their worries. I don't.
No,
I said really I was mildly surprised that you had them going 0-2 this week. I also have them going 0-2 this week. I just we talked about who they played and I blanked on that. Completely didn't think about it. I picked FlyQuest and Dignitas over Liquid.
Yeah.
And I was surprised when you told me that you picked them going 0-2.
Well, I mean, they got that name, right? It's and they got the players, they should be good.
Yeah.
I just don't think I think they need a little more time to get it all together versus just a week. They went out 1-1. I mean, TSM, that's a whole another situation, but they were a 50-50 play, and then, they got it, so it worked out. But they were a 50-50 play away from getting blown out.
Yeah, that's true. That's pretty valid. I would imagine that Dignitas has a better mindset of closing out the game than TSM does, at least from what I saw. Yeah. So you just assume that Dignitas won't make that mistake.
Dignitas, they're pretty
throwing at Baron, throwing at a large objective. Dignitas won't screw that up. What it was, I think Freak was casting one of the games. And Dignitas was taking Baron. And Freak goes, "This is the cleanest Baron Dignitas has taken in 6 years," or whatever. I was like, God damn it. Do we have any players to watch? I have my hot take and my player to watch. One of my players to watch are the same thing, and that's Double Lift.
Mm-hmm.
Because I just cannot. He played bad. He got caught. He had such a bad flash on a Leon and Zenith blade. He got caught multiple times. He TP'd into a lane, immediately pushed up. Dardoch, intelligent as hell, immediately goes all the way around and comes back and kills double lift again. If you're gonna win your 5th split in a row as a bot lane, you're gonna have to be way better than that, because there's a lot of good bot lanes if you're gonna play like that, and it's gonna be a tough one down there this split, I think. So
Yeah.
My player to watch was Froggen. I'm going to keep on this train. I know we're going to circle back to Dignitas, but I just got it. If he could play all season the way that he played last week, I really do think he's going to be player this MVP of the split.
Yeah, I think mine's going to be Bjergsen. And just because I don't think he played, I think he wants that Zillion game back.
yeah.
You did call it last week, though.
That they were gonna play it.
They're gonna play Zillion for some reason.
They're gonna lose. Yeah,
they're gonna lose.
Which, like, to be fair, the Zillion pick there in that comp is that, like, the idea behind it's actually disgusting.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they executed it very well, and also I think Liquid actually played around that pick pretty well too. But they just don't let. There's other picks you can make there too. Like, you don't need to just go all in on speeding up the Leona. Like, she has tools to get in by herself anyways. I want him to, be on a champion that, has, like, LeBlanc. I think that's a great pick for him. Syndra is pretty good right now. I think they'll kind of play more to Bjergsen's strengths this week, and I think he'll have a good showing.
He did play super well on LeBlanc, as far as, like, he was constantly like waiting for picks.
Yeah.
He didn't get any picks, obviously, but against the Immortals in the Immortals game or whatever. But then, like, when the picks weren't working, he, like, went to a side lane, which is good. Then he took inhibitor.
Well, he was the reason why that game lasted 60 minutes, because he was constantly on the wings, and they had to respect him. Like, so he was constantly putting pressure on the enemy team on that champion, which was awesome.
So he just has to keep that up.
Yeah.
My actual player to watch, as far as in a positive way, is Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
That kid played Ashe in his first pro game, and he's played in a utility ADC, and he played great. Dignitas wins. Second game he plays
Misfortune, right?
Ooh, was it Misfortune? I was gonna say it was Senna.
I might be confusing him with the stream I watched where he's playing Misfortune.
Oh,
so
could be.
It could be.
I could be. No, I think it was Senna, because he was like 5-0. I'm
Okay.
pretty sure. But yeah, either way, he played. I know he played a carry, and he carried, and it was great. So that was awesome. So hopefully you get more of that out of him, because a rookie, when you pay nothing for a rookie like that, he's NA challenger.
All four.
He's the four challenger accounts in the top 10, and they've just picked him up.
When was the last time we had a breakthrough ADC from like native NA? Like, he's in, right?
Sneaky and Wild Turtle and Stixay.
Yeah, exactly. Like, that's 5 years ago.
No, right. I think Stixay is the newest NA ADC.
And he's never. I mean, personally, I don't
Keith,
think he's
when he played a game and was really good on TSM for a game, and then was bad. I think Stixay is probably the best ADC that we've had since Johnson. It's 1 week.
Low bar, in my opinion. I mean, he's been fine. But
I feel like
Johnson did play Senna, by the way, in the second game. Or his first game was Senna.
Oh, it was the second game.
The second game was Ashe.
Okay.
1 second. Wild Turtle, Stixay, Cody's son, I guess. Cody's son is probably the other one.
Isn't in order.
I mean, wasn't he kind of there at the start, then had to
Oh, he wasn't a breakout. No, yeah, you're right. He wasn't breakout. He was bad, and then he got good.
Then he got So I'm just anything that adds to the NA pedigree. Which he's so far doing so good, or so far so good for him.
What do we think about? I had on here one of our matches, or 2 matches of the week: C9 versus TL, 100 Thieves versus EG. We're gonna just talk about one of them. I think we're just gonna talk about C9 versus TL. As far as like the last week game, what did we think? It was the fastest game of the week, 24 minutes. Some.
I mean, we kind of touched on this one already.
We did, yeah, we did with the
Is TL doomed without Broxa? No.
There we go. Yeah.
I don't think they're doomed without him. I think. I mean, That's just not the biggest of the worry. I mean, I think they're a good enough team when they play up to par. I mean, they won with Smithy, for God's sake.
Yeah.
Well, but here's what I would say though. I agree that I don't think they're doomed without Broxa, but you can definitely tell that they're a worse team without Xmithy. Like you could definitely tell that like the lanes are not supported.
But is it even without Smithy? Like it's almost like those guys just didn't do anything in the off season. They kind of sat on their their hindquarters in a way.
I mean, yeah, I would say
like
so.
They're like coming out and it looks rusty.
Mm-hmm.
It's just how it is, and I mean I get they kind of deserve it, honestly.
Yeah, there's a Baron play where like the Baron play where literally TL's like engaging on C9 and Baron's at like a half health, and Impact TP's on a ward like by mid lane, and there's a ward in Baron pit and he's Mordekaiser. He literally could have just TP'd like into the pit, ulted
the jungle, right?
Yeah, ulted Blabber immediately because Blabber didn't have kick, and then the rest of Team Liquid could have just like attempted the 50-50, but instead he just like walks up, he ults Licorice as Aatrox, and then like Blabber smites it anyway, and then Licorice has already 1v1'd him, so 1v1s him in the ult and comes out like he's dead.
They were on such autopilot mode for the game one. I think that was a wake up call.
Right.
But it's not like they looked. I mean, they got the win, but it's not like their early game was still pretty bad against TSM.
Right.
Although TSM's early game is the best in the league, so
1900 gold lead at 15 for them. Number one.
0-2.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But I think it's
who needs mid game.
I think it's a much easier fix.
Yeah.
To fix your mid and late than to fix your early.
I'd say it's pretty valid.
So I'm not like super concerned yet.
Okay. I guess you guys, let's move on to patch 10.2. Patch 10.2 is already live, obviously, for those of you listening, but it will be live for the LCS this week. So before we talk about week 2 of the LCS, we're just going to preview any champion that we deem necessary, but I've picked out 3 champions here that I would say are pretty big buffs / nerfs. The first one is an Aphelios nerf. He's already in a nerf condition on the LCS, and he was pick ban. So now here we are.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's still good.
I don't have the numbers actually in front of me.
I do.
You do? Okay, can you say them?
So basically his Q on his sniper rifle ability doesn't scale with levels anymore. At all stages of the game, it's 15 base damage plus 0.2 attack damage, and they increase the cooldown by a few seconds across the board.
For the record, I think that's really warranted because that weapon is really oppressive if you're not playing basically Caitlyn.
Yeah, the Caitlyn and Varus are like the only two. They can even like compete with that.
Yeah.
Then
they nerfed the biggest one, I think, is his chakram damage.
Yeah, that one was OP as
disgusting.
Shit. I love that one.
Yeah, it's fun. Super fun to use. Super not fun to play against.
My favorite combo is taking the red one and you use your Q because that's how you either that or Infernum is the fastest way to stack it. Immediately switch to Chakram Flash on the enemy ADC and auto attack as much as possible.
Just kill. Yeah,
you're like an assassin. I love it.
And then they also nerfed his sustain. Is it sustain?
Yep. Severum, the scythe pistol, is the lifesteal one.
Yeah. Oh, so they nerfed his. It's barely a nerf. They just nerfed the bonus attack damage part of it.
Of his Q.
By 0.05. Yeah, of his Q. Yeah. So the ability. I still think he'll be good. I think his early game will be a little worse.
I think he'll still be OP.
One, but I still think he's fine. No one has finished reading, what all of his abilities do yet, so
that's true.
He's got the surprise.
He's got more buffs in 10.3 with some range stuff. But I agree with you that even after the range, I still think he does a lot of damage. That Infernum, and like if you can get Infernum, if you can get Calibrum, you're just gonna shred in team fights. Obviously the game that I watched the most in depth was the C9 one, with both of them, and that's when Sven played Aphelios both times, and my gosh, you just shred the team fights. It's unreal.
Yeah, I think he's still pick ban.
Karma is the next one on our list. She got some base stat, but not base stats, but the base.
Yeah.
Base stats on her abilities.
Yes.
Yeah.
For her
basically.
Q and her W, was it?
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which means tank karma top.
Yep.
Actually, it just means solo lane karma in general, but which I hate. But whatever.
Yeah, they still. I mean, tank is more what it's gonna be. The AP numbers they nerfed that a little bit ago. They're still fine, I guess, but not as fun as it used to be. Single tier. Um. What are the supports being played right now? It's mostly engagey, right?
Engage ones, which Nautilus
Which
did
is-
get a nerf on his
Yeah.
damage, but I still
Doesn't
think
matter.
engage supports will still be played.
I mean, yeah.
It's like engage supports and Tom Kench.
Can he still engage past what his ability shows? Yes. Okay, he's still down.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Karma doesn't do that good into like Leona Nautilus, right? Like
No.
So
not
I
really.
think I think it could be good into like the Tom Kench
Well,
Senna.
Like mid karma, like a tank karma top or a mid karma would be
I'm thinking
good, but like
support. I don't-
laning
I don't
phase,
think
yeah.
in pro play, it's not getting. Yeah, it's not getting. I mean, if you're solo queue, if you want to play Karma top, she got better. So go have fun being literally Satan.
Like, they're not playing Teemo. What do you?
I mean, I would play against Teemo over Karma any day.
I hate
in
karma
top
so
lane.
much.
Oh,
No, karma support even. I hate it. I just, oh my god, the shielding, the root, the Q
Yeah.
alt, that just, oh my gosh, it one shots you. I hate it. Oh, I hate
But
it.
on the topic of the bot lanes, with the nerfs and the buffs coming in, because they also buff Lulu, they buff Jinx.
Yep. Oh, the
Might
Jinx
start
buff.
to see, and that the Jinx buff I think is interesting for pro play, just because of how how many people are grouped around the dragon. Like if your team gets it and they're still close by, you get that fight
Well,
off immediately with it. So
And games are like, because it's the beginning of the split, games are taking longer. But I was listening to the dive and they were talking about how the meta might actually just be like to honestly give up 3 dragons in a row and pick a late game scaling comp, team fight at dragon, hope that you're the one that gets the 4th one. Like, so you stop the soul and then just get all the rest of the dragons and win the game.
Yep.
And like, in which that happened actually like 3 times, I think, this week in the
Pretty
LCS
much, yeah.
alone. And that's pretty crazy. And I think C9 was the only team that actually like held all dragon control like throughout their games. Otherwise, everyone was just like lose the 4th dragon or they would get the soul and win, but like the other team would take a dragon in there or something like that.
yeah.
So I don't think it's crazy to think like, hey, let's play Jinx Lulu, and then when the 4th dragon spawns, we go fight, and when we take the dragon, like we just go and we run them down. I don't think that's an insane
And
theory.
I mean, Lulu got helped a ton here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That the cooldown on the E, and she's already like the anti-engage. You're not killing this person.
Yeah.
Like, I would not be surprised seeing that as like a niche counter to Leona. Especially if,
Yeah.
if
That's
she's
interesting.
going in, you can W her,
Which-
so she
yeah.
can't get the stun off right away. So that just allows you to kind of kite back, and then she's just sitting there with her pants down.
Which is a shame, really, because I love Leona in pro play. So it's like
fun,
immediately we're just like, and counter. Like,
Yeah.
oh, cool.
But I mean, will people do it? I don't know.
Right.
NA doesn't like to deviate from the norm a lot,
Right.
which I think is their
I s-
biggest problem.
I still think you have a week of engaged supports before anyone figures out like
do
the
too.
difference. Just because
Yeah,
you
I
have
do too.
Braum, Thresh, Nautilus, Tom Kench
mean-
for safety, but a lot of
I
other
mean,
regions don't
and-
play Tom Kench. We're the only ones playing it with Senna.
Is this
so-
10.2 this weekend?
Yeah, this week is
Yeah,
10.2.
Okay.
Yep.
So maybe next weekend we might see some new stuff. But
Yeah. Ziggs buff is the last one that I put on here
yeah.
because late game, if games keep going to late game, you have a champion that can literally get you to late game with his wave clear.
Yeah. I don't think he's gonna be seen. Personally, I could be very wrong.
Is there anybody who's like?
But
I'm
his
trying to
matchup
think
is
of
so
people
good.
that played him like back in the day. Is it Voy Boy?
I mean Shifter. is the big
Shifter.
one.
Okay, yeah, Shifter. I was like, I know, like, I don't think anybody currently
Yeah.
used to play him, but I must be
no,
thinking of an old pro.
I mean, his zone control technically got better, right?
Right.
The knockback, so maybe. I just think his matchups are awful. I think he does not do super great into LeBlanc Zoe, which both are being seen a lot right now.
Yep.
I don't think he does great into Rumble. Yeah, maybe it's not that bad, but Rumble can match is clear. And
Yeah.
It just shields the Q, so it's I don't know. You might see Frog and pull it out. That's the only person I could see doing
Well,
it.
Victor got a bug fix on his mana or something like that, so
Yeah, he's
Victor
coming back.
has more reason to be picked by Froggen again.
And yeah, what I thought was interesting, did you guys listen to him? What he said post game about it?
No,
He said it's like one of the few champions that can actually deal with Senna.
Victor.
Yeah,
Did he say why?
like just because like his range that he can do stuff and he get this like, and since all of his abilities slow now just automatically. Yeah, he didn't say why. This is kind of what I'm assuming.
Huh.
Oh, I
Um,
suppose. Yeah, the laser slows now. You don't need the Rylai
so
slow.
yeah, and so I think it's just the amount of range you kind of like you kind of have with them, with his E. So he didn't. Yeah, I don't know his exact reasoning. But that's what he believes, and that's why he picked it.
Interesting.
Huh.
I like it.
Yeah. So I'm gonna, frog and word is law. If I see Senna, I'm picking Victor now. Sorry, boys.
But you don't need to apologize. Victor's a good champion.
Yeah. I just him and Oriana. I sometimes play a little too aggressive.
I love
Try
Victor.
to, and try to go for the extra auto. So
Yeah.
So yeah, sometimes and those two champions, I kind of get a little test my limits a little too hard.
Any other champions that we're looking towards? I don't even know if there's any other that got buffed or nerfed that's even worth the time. But
I mean Trundle.
Oh yeah,
When's this guy
Trundle.
gonna get played?
He did get played. He got played.
did he?
Immortals played him.
That's right.
Immortals played him versus whoever their second team, and they lost. They got
Yeah.
their butts kicked because he was a bad jungler then.
It's like, it's like 15 buffs in a row. I swear. He's just gonna be a monster at some point. It's just a matter. He's a ticking time bomb. But yeah, but that's kind of it. I mean, the patch wasn't giant.
Yeah. So for the week 2 of the LCS, the match of the week that we're going to preview is Dignitas versus Team Liquid. Obviously, we've already been talking about both these teams because they're a hot topic of discussion. Do we think Team Liquid can bounce? Obviously, we all think that Dignitas is going to win this game. We've already kind of said that, but do we think that Team Liquid can make a bounce back in this week?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think it's possible. I think it's possible that Dig just had a hot week.
Yeah.
I think it's possible that Double Lift, kind of wakes up, and Jensen kind of wakes up. And so I think that but I think that Dignitas is the favorite just based on what happened week 1.
What's kind of interesting, this matchup, Dignitas plays Liquid. That's like the second game of the week. Both of those teams play FlyQuest this week. So,
Oh, interesting.
I think Dignitas wins. I think Dignitas beats FlyQuest. I'm much less sure about the Dignitas FlyQuest game, but it'll be interesting to see how they play each other and then what their philosophies are and how they differ against FlyQuest later, like the next day or when it is the What's the Monday night games? Are there 2?
TSM CLG.
And then FlyQuest Dignitas?
Yeah, it's the last 2 on our pick'ems. Yeah, so FlyQuest Dig.
Okay.
Cool.
So I guess is that Dignitas Liquid game on Saturday or Sunday? Saturday, right? Because it's at the top.
Yes.
That's
Yep.
how it's formatted.
That's
okay.
the Saturday second game.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I think Liquid can bounce back. I don't think they will. I really don't think they're going to be a team that really starts winning games without Broxa, and I'm not sure that it's necessarily that Broxa is that important to the team. I think it's just stylistically he's a little bit different from what they're playing. So until they get Broxa back, I just don't have a lot of faith in picking Liquid to win anything.
Valid.
Yeah, agreed. I think it's going to be more if Dignitas plays the same way they did, they win, even if TL kind of shores up some of that stuff. But if we could see a collapse for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I think it'll be fun. I think it'll be a good one. I don't think it's going to be like super lopsided.
Yeah, this week is a real proving grounds for teams.
Oh yeah,
because the Dignitas FlyQuest, both of them. Well, actually, when did the schedule come up for this? Like weeks ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dignitas FlyQuest didn't get picked very high by pretty much anybody. They're 2-0. They're playing on Monday night. The other Monday night game is TSM CLG. They're both 0-2, and everybody thought they were going to do a little bit better.
Yeah, the TSM CLG game brings a whole new meaning to the rivalry. Who's the worst team?
Well, we'll see. Are they the only? They're not the only two OT teams, are they?
Immortals and Golden Guardian. No, Golden
No,
Guardians.
Golden Guardians.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I think are Golden Guardians is very capable of winning a game, a couple games. They played really well.
Yeah, I haven't beaten them Immortals this week.
I think I do too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, cool.
I'm the only one that picked Immortals to win that game.
I just didn't like what I saw from Immortals.
If they can't close out with the Elder and all inhibitors down.
Yeah.
You got to imagine they won't be that bad at closing games all year, right? Like
I can imagine them being that
I
bad
can
at closing
imagine.
games all year.
Ica missed a lot of Zoe Qs and a lot of bubbles. A lot of them.
But you're Zoe, so it doesn't matter.
It was an interesting game.
maybe you just don't play Zoe. Don't play Zoe, win games. Play Victor.
Yeah. Or play Syndra and Zoe. I don't understand.
That's true.
why
Syndra and Lux, by the way, are active this week. They were disabled
Syndra?
last
Oh, yeah.
week for
was
bugs.
I don't know what Syndra was. I knew
Yep,
Lux.
it was Syndra and Lux, and I realized that in the middle of this week, and I also realized that last week I said for my captain I had Crown playing Syndra in the first game. Could never have happened.
Oh yeah, true. Is there any champions disabled this week? Do we know?
I don't think so.
Everything's
Set-
there. See some Diana.
Sets
Sets
available.
available. Diana was played by Golden Glue last week. He
Oh, I
played
thought
it
she wasn't
against.
available. Okay.
Yeah, she played it. He played it against C9. Is that true?
Is it? True?
Yeah, he played it against C9. He definitely played it. I'm pretty sure.
I didn't watch that
so.
one. It wasn't the first one. Pretty sure he played LeBlanc the first one.
Yeah. So then Diana would have been the second one, which was C9. So, yeah. So she's got some play already. Set's gonna be played, I would imagine, at
You
some
think
point.
so?
Or banned.
Yeah, I think he's gonna be
with
played.
With Mordekaiser, he might be because he's good against Mordekaiser.
Yeah, I could see it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, maybe he's super overtuned right
Or
now.
if Ward is
Awesome.
banned, if someone picks Ornn, I could see it be played into Ornn.
Yeah, that his W will be. He'll be nerfed, right, for this? Because he got hot fixed, right?
No,
Didn't he get tuned down?
He's getting nerfed in 10.3.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah, so yeah, he'll
He'll be played.
pick banned for at least a couple of games. Especially where teams are planning on playing something like a Mordekaiser.
You think he'll see the ban list?
He'll be banned at least once. Is that? I'll make that prediction right now. He'll get banned at least once this weekend.
Yeah, I think he'll see a ban.
I won't bet against that. But I don't think he takes I don't think he replaces Senna, Philios, Akali in any of the bans.
No, but you might see him in a round 2, like a tier 2 ban.
That's
Well, Liquid's gonna ban Kiana first because Jensen doesn't play it, and Lucian because some reason. So they won't have the space to ban Set anyway.
true.
So Eli, do you have more questions for us for your
I
team fights trivia?
I do. I've got 5 more questions for you guys. Just to rehash the rules for this a little bit, for anybody that didn't hear last week. These guys are. I'm going to ask a question. I've got 5 of them. These guys are going to buzz in using Discord as like a way for me to tell who buzzed in first. They get a couple seconds to answer. If they get it right, they get a point. Mute that, please.
Yeah, Logan.
Oh, come on.
If they get 2 in a row without being interrupted by another player, they start a multi-kill, and they get multiple points for as many as they get in a row without being interrupted. They get a bonus point for each question. And if they get 3 in a row, just without getting wrong, they can be interrupted during a killing spree. They get an additional point for that. So at most, a question is worth 3 points, and you have to be on a spree to get there. The score last week was 8-1. Logan took questions 1 through 3. Coobs got number 4, and Logan got number 5. Are you guys ready to play?
Ooh, we're about to see.
Yes,
the gap.
sir.
About to see the gap grow, baby.
I don't know if
Cool.
Logan's flexing on you by yawning because he won so handily last week.
Pretty much.
I'm pretty awful at trivia stuff, so.
All right. So this week's theme is jungle history.
Yeah, all right.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
sweet.
just started maining it.
That's good. That's good. That means you have no precursor to this because
Sweet.
nothing is current. All right. Question number 1. What ranked season featured the debut of the Hunter's Machete jungle item? Logan.
Season 4.
That is incorrect.
Damn it.
Coos, would you like to take a shot?
Yeah, give me season 6.
That
Oh, that's not right. That's not right.
That's incorrect as well. You get neither.
Can I guess again, or is that
Nope.
over?
Nope.
Okay.
You each answered one time. That's it. So,
Can I guess for principal?
would you like to?
Is it 3?
It is 3.
Damn it.
Season-
That's what I was going to do.
Oh, really? Yeah, I thought that was a newer one.
Pre-season 3 is when the Hunter's Machete entered the jungle or entered the shop. Prior to this, most junglers required cloth armor and as many health pots as they could buy, and a pretty generous leash to even jungle at all.
Oh, gee, I
The
thought they
exception-
Yeah, because that's right. The mid laner had to help leash like blue buff.
Yep.
Yeah, I thought that was. Geez, I thought that was a different item at that time.
Nope.
I thought it was like the
always
same
Hunter's
idea.
Machete.
Shoot.
What is the talisman one? Is they just added that? Is that what
They
happened?
added
Yes.
that later.
When did that get added?
That's like 5.
If
I
I
bet you
had
it was
checked, I
6.
would tell you. It's
Bet
not a
you it was
question.
It's been
around since the colored smites.
Okay, well, you both got that wrong, so all of your point sprees get reset. So it's still 8-1. Question number 2. Season 4 saw the addition of a new jungle camp where there had not been one before. What was it called? Logan.
Krugs.
Gromp.
Incorrect
Damn
again.
it. Damn it. No.
Gromp.
No.
Gromp.
No, it's not Gromp.
Also incorrect.
It's
Oh,
Gromp.
the red.
it's white. It's white.
the white.
Damn it.
That's correct. The white. While this camp was worth a decent bit of gold, it was also rather tanky and dealt enough damage that most junglers couldn't include it in their first clear rotation. It has since been replaced with Gromp.
Can you imagine a world that we used to play where it was only the buffs, wolves, and chickens?
Uh-huh. This is a
Wait, what?
long time ago.
What was the question again?
You would just repeat it.
Yeah, just repeat it.
Beautiful. Season 4 saw the addition of a new jungle camp where there had not been one before.
Oh, okay.
It was in a location there had
And
not
then,
been
and then it
before.
changed to Gromp after that? Is that
It
what
was
you
the
Yeah.
white first, and then it got changed
white
to Gromp
first.
to
That's
revamp
right.
Summer's Rift.
That's where it got me.
Krugs was like season 5 or 6 or something. Damn it.
All right. So 0 for 2 for you guys. this
We're not gonna get
Shit.
anything right.
No, I think you will. I think you will. All right. Question number 3. The Dragon Camp has not always been about buffs. Up until patch 4.20,
Okay,
you can't buzz in when I'm still asking the question.
He should
actually,
answer it. He should have to
I'll
answer it
stop.
right now.
I will stop asking the question. What is your answer?
Gold.
Okay, that's incorrect.
Dang.
Logan, I recommend you wait till the end of the
Yeah,
question.
I was going to guess that too, but I was like, no, he's going to ask like how much gold or something. Go ahead.
The dragon gave gold and for a brief period of time global XP. What season saw the change to the first iteration of elemental drakes?
To elemental drakes.
That's correct.
Season.
You can opt out if you. Well, it doesn't really matter. You might as well do
Doesn't
it.
matter.
Season 8.
Okay, that is incorrect.
Shit.
It's 7, isn't it?
Nope, that's also incorrect. It's
Jeez.
season 6.
What the fuck?
We've
Where's
had
it
elemental.
gone?
We've had RNG elemental drakes since season 6.
What the heck?
Patch 6.9. Back in the day, we used to have massive changes mid-season. We had a mid-season break where there's like a week where rank was down, and they would massively change stuff. So 6.9 saw a massive change in Summer's Rift,
Oh my
not least of
god.
which was included the Dragon Overhaul. Initially, Coops, that question, or that question originally was about how much gold the original version of Dragon
Was
gave.
it 250 per
God.
person?
It was 235.
235.
But I was like,
I was gonna
that's
guess 225.
really far back, and I didn't think either of you guys would get that.
I can't believe
I
we've had
also-
elemental drakes that long.
I can't either, dude.
Yep.
These like
That
which
was-
season it is? Everything is blended.
Are you
together.
sure?
I'm not gonna get a single season one.
I went and looked up everything. I spent 2 hours on this.
Are
One of our
you
questions
sure?
are
Yes.
here. I think he's right.
It's don't
But
look
I-
it up
I-
because
I
I've
rem-
got more,
I rem-
more questions to ask you. We
I
can
remember.
fact check this
I remember it
later.
was a March patch. I remember that for sure.
Oh my god.
You guys ready for question 4?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but let's do it.
All right. The minor camps in the jungle used to give you a buff if you smited them. Razorbeaks gave you true sight if you were spotted by a ward. Krugs gave you a stun if you hit a target enough times, and the ability to expend the buff on a turret for some bonus damage. What did the Grump buff do? Logan.
It gave you a, like, how do I describe it? It gave you, like, if something attacked you, it was like a Thornmail proc. They took damage.
That's correct. Gift of the Toadstool poison enemies
Yeah,
that
there you
attack
go.
you for the next 90 seconds.
I actually knew that one.
5% bonus health scaling, so that's a point
Yeah.
for Logan.
I didn't know what to call it, a code or whatever. I knew it was like a Thornmail.
I would have accepted poison Thornmail. That would have been fine. As long as you got the gist. That's why I didn't say, like, what's the name of it, because nobody knew what the buffs were called.
I would take Smite on Teemo top during that.
I played
you
Smite on
might-
Tryndamere, so I couldn't get harassed early.
You would just run at them and they would just die level 1 because they try
Yeah.
trading with you in their wave. They think they'd win and then they don't.
All right. So I wasn't expecting us to have one right answer through the first 4. This one's kind of a doozy. I recommend listening to the whole question before you start to buzz in here. I'm going to assume that was a joke.
Yes.
All right.
What if I just got it right?
Do you want to try?
No.
All right. Before Rift Herald granted the Eye of the Herald ability, granting Shelly's powers to the team that slew her, provided they actually remembered to pick up the eye, it granted a different reward. Glimpse of the Void gave damage reduction and a charging empowered auto attack effect as long as its carrier had no allied champions nearby. How long was the duration of Glimpse
20
of the
minutes.
Void, Logan? You got it.
Yeah.
Wow.
I knew exactly what that was the answer when you said it. I was like, he's going to ask me, what does it do or how long does it take? I was
All
ready
right.
for you.
Initially implemented also in patch 6.9 to create importance at the top side of the map as a way to counteract the pressure the dragon always generated for the bot lane. Glimpse of the Void was underwhelming. It would be replaced with Eye of the Herald a year later in patch 7.9. And as a fun fact, the original buff given by Rift Herald was actually called Doom's Eve. It gave a 10% bonus damage, 40 move speed, and empowered nearby minions for a whopping 2 minutes.
It was a mini Baron.
It was much closer to the Vile Maw buff.
Yeah.
Dude, my memory sucks. I don't remember either of those.
Well, you don't never really spend any great amount of time jungling or playing top lane. It was pretty much always a top laner that got that buff because he would be splitting with TP.
Oh, what season was that?
That was implemented in 6.9, so it would have been end
that
of
was,
season 6 and halfway through season 7.
I don't remember if I was still a top lane main then. I don't remember.
Pretty sure I was
Like
still an
said,
ADC main.
I don't live in the past. I live in the present.
Oh, okay, that's true.
So
I guess. So Logan picks up 2 points for his second right answer in a row. Gives him 3 for the day. That makes it 11-1.
let's go.
And there were actually some wrong answers this week, which
Yeah, no, those were a lot harder.
Yeah.
Well, the Krugs one I should have got right. That was dumb of me. That Elemental Drake one just shocked me. I didn't think we
I
had
still
Drakes
think-
for that long.
I had the
know.
right spot right. I don't keep track.
Do you
of it.
remember-
I always call them the same thing.
Do you remember what the dragon buff was before the elemental drakes?
It was still a stacking dragon. You'd stack it 5 times.
Yep.
But like it wasn't like you had to take 5 individual dragons. And the 5th one was like what Elder Dragon became originally, where you just become like overpowered.
Yeah. In doing the research for this, I ran across a fun fact that all of the elemental drakes are female and the elder dragon is male.
Huh.
Because in League of Legends, like Runeterra lore, female dragons are the only ones imbued with an elemental heart. Shyvana's a fire dragon, for instance.
Yeah.
And elder dragons are not elementally affiliated, so they're male. So you get a little bit of a lore lesson with this week too.
There you go.
Oh.
Well, do you guys have anything else for this week's podcast?
I think I'm good.
You good, Coos?
Yeah, it was good one. I like this one. This was fun.
Alrighty,
Do
well
this
then.
again sometime.
Oh yeah.
Same
we
time
should.
next week? Oh, actually, I'm not here next week. So you guys
Yes,
might
next
be
week we will not be here because
All right, I'll come up with the questions and we'll play against each other.
deal. So Coobs and I will try to think of something special for the two of us, but that's gonna do it for us today. Remember to follow us here on Twitch and Twitter at Talk of the Rift. If you missed any of our other episodes, you can check them out on our Anchor page, anchor.fm/Talk of the Rift. From there, you can find us on virtually all podcast platforms from Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Play, just to name a few. Don't forget to send us your questions for our Q&A or send us an audio message on our Anchor page and we can play it live. And we will see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye.